All right, let's address these leg breaks, right? Because everything else we've ever seen in the sport that has an injury, this is a sport about damage. This is a contact sport, right? We get this is the tough guy business. We understand all of those things. None of us want to see an injury. None of us are for an injury on any side of it. Not the spectator, the athletes don't want to injure the other guy, hurt and damage and make him quit in the moment. These are far cries from injured. And this is the third one that we've seen, and it's the second one that we've seen in a pretty short period of time, right? Of course, I'm going back to Anderson Silva. I'm fast forwarding to Chris Weidman, and then I'm just taking a small jump to Conor McGregor, and they're very close. Very similar injuries when you have some of these compound fractures. So what do we do? And anything else in the sport that would injure or potentially injure, there would be a rule change instantly, right away. You'd get commissions together and something would be banned. I mean, there was the 12-6 elbow is still banned in most jurisdictions. You guys know where that came from? The 12-6 elbow came. A 12-6 elbow being illegal is a very good rule. People don't think it's a good rule because they laugh at where it came from, which is laughable, which is commissioners somewhere on YouTube somewhere saw a martial arts expert somewhere break a stack of bricks by going 12-6. Now, that is, of course, ridiculous. That did not happen. Those are rigged bricks. They didn't know what they were looking at. That is laughable. But just because you laugh at the reasoning, you are wrong. That's a very damaging and very dangerous attack from certain positions, and it should be banned. Should be banned, by the way. But everything that's illegal in the sport has either already been done and injured somebody, or there was reasonable belief by the decision makers, such as the 12-6 elbow, even if falsely, but a reasonable belief, that it would injure somebody. We now have something that's happening that is for sure injuring people. So what do we do? What do you do? I will tell you, I belong to a jiu-jitsu gym. You cannot, within the practice room, unless you're with a brown belt at the minimum, do a technique called a heel hook. In many grappling organizations, heel hooks are banned as a whole. And the problem with a heel hook is twofold. First, they don't hurt. And secondly, they'll tear your ACL. Your knee will be a bucket of bolts. Now, I only bring that to you because a lot of guys don't know to yell, or they don't know to tap, or they don't even know they're in trouble in the very first place. It's not an extremely painful position, particularly in conjunction with the damage that it will cause. So a lot of events, just ban them. You can't do it, period. Guys are here getting injured. That's not what we're here for. Find something else. I don't know that it's as straightforward in this, right? Because I don't actually know why it's happening. A guy is checking a kick. If you throw a kick and the other guy checks it, you, the offensive participant, will be damaged far more than him, even if the kick had landed. So you got to really set those kicks up, right? A good kicker, like a Barboza type, is a master with setups. So you don't see it coming, so you don't check it. Chris Weidman came out, he threw a kick, Uriah Hall raised that knee, checked it. Weidman's shin, as strong as that is, goes into a big, heavy, sturdy boulder known as Uriah Hall's knee. Boom, compound fracture. Same thing that happened to Anderson Silva against Chris Weidman. And we still don't clearly know where this happened to Conor McGregor. Conor and Dustin have both said it was from the check. I had somebody tell me their opinion. This person happens to be a doctor. They happen to be a very smart guy. I'm putting it on them because I don't share their opinion. But they claim that they've watched that fight over and over, and it was absolutely not the check, that it was the canvas itself, that it had something to do with the way Conor McGregor's leg got into the actual octagon and the canvas that covers it. And he says that he can see very clearly, and he's going to send me the clip. And he actually did send it to me, but it was on my iPhone. I couldn't see it well enough. It was too small. The fabric catches, and that locks his knee out. Whatever it is, by the way, I'm not blaming the octagon, but whatever it is, and if that's it, we got to look into this. Something has to be done. Now, you couldn't make it illegal to check a kick. A guy, of course, has the right to defend himself. Well, could we make it illegal to throw the kick? Sure. I can't imagine it would come to this, by the way. I'm not making an early prediction for you. It just seems like when things happen, particularly when they're in Nevada, there's just not an adult in the room, right? There's just nobody that steps forward proactively ever and even begins to have a conversation like the one I'm having. They throw their arms up and go, what are you going to do? Tell a guy not to kick? Ha ha ha, let's all go home. Maybe that's exactly what you do. That's why it's called a conversation. Maybe you throw shin pads on them. Doesn't make a damn bit of difference. There's a reason we wrap the hands. Why in the hell would we not wrap the shin? Well, it doesn't look good for TV. Says who? Says who? You ever been to a soccer game? See how many goddamn tickets they sell? Think anybody in there cares that they got a little something on their shin? I mean, in all fairness, my frustration on this doesn't just come from watching somebody get injured. Watching somebody's life for some level be changed. Hopefully it's in the very short term, but their careers are now different. That's not where my frustration comes. My frustration comes from the guys taking 6%, hanging their hat on the idea of fighter safety, but anytime there's an opportunity to protect a fighter, there's no one to be seen.